do coding and decoding. So the code or decode, you're still going to use a matrix C. We're going to pick a matrix C that's going to have an inverse to it. So the first thing you're going to do is pick a, you're going to come up with a matrix C on your own, test and see if you can find an inverse of it. Just put in your calculator, raise this to -1 power. If you get some answer, then you know it's invertible. If you get something that says singular matrix, that means it's not invertible and you cannot use it. But this one, if you put this in your calculator, raise this to -1 power, you will see that there is an inverse for that. So now to code this message, my message is landing is successful. So I am going to change all the letters into numbers based on that chart over there. Everyone with me? So L is 12, A is 1, N is 14, 4. Everyone's with me?
Not really.
Really? Why aren't you with me?
Well, I don't know what you just said about all that inverse stuff.
I will get there. We'll go do this back there in a second. See how I have a space between landing and successful? I'm going to put a 0 there to hold that space.
Are those just two separate grades?
Those are two separate threes for my two C's.
Yeah,
That's my E. S is
19.
19.
Wait, why are we writing on another line? Is that just
room?
okay?
I thought it was another row. 19, 6, 21, 12.
Okay, that's a lot.
That's a lot of numbers. Now, when I multiply this, I'm going to take my numbers and I'm going to multiply it by this 3 by 3. That's going to be the second one that I multiply, because remember, order that I multiply matters. So then I'm going to have a matrix C here. I don't know how many rows it's going to have, but how many columns does it have to have?
3.
3. Does that make sense? That way I can still multiply them?
Yeah.
So when I write these numbers that just were landing successful, I have to write them that they have 3 columns. I'm going to do 12, 1, 14. And here this will be 4, 9, 14.
Wait, what are you doing?
I'm writing these numbers in rows so that I have 3
Oh.
columns in each row. 10, 0, 19.
Bro. Yeah, right.
Oh, those are 2 separate 3s. There's no 33 letters in the alphabet. Now this one I'm lucky because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 18 characters in this landing successful. If I didn't finish an entire row, I would have to fill in that row with zeros. So that I'd complete my matrix. Then I'm going to multiply it by the by the regular matrix that they just gave me. I'm going to multiply it by this 1, 2, 2, 3, 7, 9, -1, -4, -7. And I'm just going to multiply those on my calculator. Know that when you multiply them, you are not going to get numbers between 0 and 26. You will get negative numbers, and you will get numbers that are much larger than 26, and it's okay. Okay, so I'll give you a second to multiply those two.
How many columns is it? 6? Actually not.
Okay, when you multiply these,
Well, you know what I mean.
oh my, I'm frozen. I wonder if I'm recording now, and I don't even know it. I might be. Oh, I am. I am recording right now. Great. All right, so when I multiply these two, this is the answer that I got. Yes? Did everyone get that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So then what you would do if you were like a top secret spy, you would just take these numbers, list them on a piece of paper, and you would send them to whoever you were sending your message to. And they will get these numbers, which make no sense because they're not between 0 and 26. And then you would also send them the matrix that you used to code it. To decode it, in other words, to get these numbers back to numbers between 0 and 26, you're going to take this matrix, and you're going to multiply it by the inverse of the matrix that you just used. So on your calculator, you're just going to go up and grab that matrix. Of course, you won't have it in your calculator already. You'll have to type it in your calculator. And you're going to hit times. And then I'm going to go up and grab, I wonder if I can. Well, I wonder if that'll be messy. I'm multiplying it by this, but I'm going to take this matrix and I'm going to raise it to the -1 power to find the inverse. Does everyone see that? And if I'm having a good day, it's going to work. And I end up with this 0, 12. I end up with this, which should be the same numbers that I started this problem with.
Dimension error.
Then you made a mistake.
Oh, do you have to multiply in a certain order?
Oh, yes. Remember, matrixy world, it matters the order that you multiply?
Yeah, 12, 1, 14, logs.
And that ends up matching what I start with, so I would be able to, then I can take these numbers and go back and put them in there to decode. Yes? Okay, any questions on how to do that? Because you will be expected to do one on your own. Write a message, pass the message to a friend, and have a friend.
So what's the answer? What's the answer? I mean, like, what's like the final answer to that what you would write down? Just that long?
Well, so on the thing that you're going to do is you are going to come up with a message that's at least 15 characters long. You are going to come up with a matrix that you can take the inverse of. You are going to write your message on a piece of paper, write that matrix on a piece of paper, change your message into these numbers, these 0 through 26 numbers, and then you're going to code your message, and you're going to end up with, oh, I never wrote it down. You're going to end up with that coded message. Then you're going to write that coded message on another piece of paper with the matrix that you originally used, and then the person that gets that will take that coded message, multiply it by the inverse, and decode it.
Okay. All right.
The biggest hang up is like just come up with a 3x3 matrix. Jovan, come up with, just give me a 3x3 matrix.
3, 2, -5, 1, -7, 3, 9, 2, 37.
Really? All right, now do me a favor. Put that in your calculator and raise it to -1 power. Did it say singular matrix?
What do you mean?
When you raise that to -1 power, did you get a matrix?
Yeah.
Okay, then you can use it. The only time you couldn't use it is if you raise this to -1 power and it said singular matrix. That means you cannot find the inverse of it, and that means you have to just come up with another matrix.
Okay.
Okay? So then you guys will do that actually in class on Tuesday. Let's say.